Another happy landing. What's up, everybody? Welcome, one and all to your stream. Your Monday morning here in Nerd Avengers Tower. What is up, everybody on YouTube? What's up, everybody on Twitch? Finto, I see you over there. Kick, I'm sorry, I still don't see you guys. I'm trying to figure that out. And people on Twitter, I think there's like 4 or 5 of you that watch on Twitter. What up? What is up? Actually watching on the big screen with the fur nephew. So should I watch what I say then? Should I watch what I say? Toxic, what's up, baby? Den of Goats, also Unity. Yeah, man. Feeling good about Unity, man. We're so damn close. We're so damn close. What's up? Hope everybody is doing well. Guys, it's 1 week until Christmas. I know not everybody celebrates Christmas, but big deal for me, big deal for many of you guys. I'm quite excited about Christmas, man. 1 week. What do you think? Let me ask you, I want to ask you guys a couple of different things, okay? First, let me ask you this. Do you think you were good or bad this year? Are you getting presents or are you getting coal? Put it into the chat. I want to know what you guys say. Are you getting presents or are you getting coal? Let's see. Hunter Larson, welcome to the Nerd Avengers. You are a Nerd Avenger now. Are we still live streaming Rebel Moon this Thursday? Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm still really excited about Rebel Moon. Don't celebrate Christmas? Well, come on, just play along. Were you good or bad? Are you getting presents or coal? I was good, Papa Josh. I promise I'll subscribe next year. Wait, what? Okay. Rebel trash, says Spectre. Yeah, okay. All right, buddy. Hey, why don't you... Are you going to watch it, though, Spectre? Are you going to watch... It's too early in the stream and early in the week for me to get triggered, so let's just pump the brakes on that. But are you going to watch it? Wait, what happened with Pretty Nikki? Congrats to Pretty Nikki. I missed it in the chat. What happened? Rebel mid. God damn it. I have no family. Josh, give me presents. What's that corny ass thing that people always say? My presence is your present. No, come back. Come back. Don't leave. Don't get ultra. No, look, my presence is your present. You've never heard that? Oh, well, you must not. I don't know. Cheesy Fish, welcome to the Nerd Avengers, baby. Get on into the tower, man. It's a good time to be a Nerd Avenger, especially because one of the things I've been kind of thinking about is what are we going to do next year to kind of elevate the membership, continue to like provide a lot of cool value for the people that are members for us. And on that note, I my presence is stinky. I mean, you don't even shut your mouth when you're talking to me. Okay, listen. I want to do a ton of like cool things next year that are sort of outside of like, you know, just doing stuff on YouTube and getting views and all those sort of things, right? So, as an example, on Saturday, we had one of the funniest streams, one of the craziest streams, one of the weirdest streams we've ever had, and this was when we watched the Star Wars holiday special. So let me ask you guys a question here. I got a promotion with a nice pay raises. Woo, nice. Pretty Nikki, nice. Nerd Avengers for life. Hey, I appreciate you and congratulations. That's cool. That's nice, especially around this time of the year. Get something like that locked in and be feeling good. Okay, so how many of you guys were at the stream on Saturday, or how many of you got to watch that stream before Disney took it down? Do you stream to Twitch? Yes, I'm live on Twitch right now, man. right now, and we got affiliate over on Twitch. I don't know what that means. I guess we'll get paid over there now or something. I don't know. I haven't really looked into it. I was there for a little bit. You missed it. Wait, why did the stream get taken down? So I believe the stream got taken down because there was a section, the animated section with Boba Fett, if you've ever watched the holiday special. The animated section with Boba Fett, I believe they do copyright that. So, like, we just had it on screen because it's just on YouTube and it wasn't getting copywritten at all. So we just kind of watched it, right? We just kind of had it on there. And man, that was one of the most, it was so fun, but so weird and so crazy. And I got to tell you, I'll go in there later today and try to clip out that section and get it so that you guys can watch it, because that was wild. Like I didn't know what to expect. A lot of people had always said like, oh, it's so horrible, it's so bad. But I got this impression that it was one of those things that was so bad that it's kind of good and enjoyable, that you can kind of get some enjoyment out of it. And wow, my brain was not prepared for the absolute insanity that is the holiday special. I mean, it was like a rite of passage. I feel like every Star Wars fan has to watch this thing. Like, I feel like we have to watch this thing. It was so goddamn ridiculous, guys. Like, I don't even know how to explain some of it. I just know, like, from the jump, we put it on, and I was just geeking out, dude. I was just geeking out because, first of all, Chewbacca's dad is the ugliest thing I've ever seen in a movie, show, anything. Like, it was crazy. You know, I made fun of the Wookiees at the end of Solo because I think they look horrible, okay? But Chewie's dad is, like, one of the ugliest things. Like, have you ever seen, like, there's that one ugly dog from a couple of years ago that was, like, so ugly that they were sharing it all over the internet as, like, a meme and stuff like that? It was that bad, bro. And I couldn't handle it. I was just geeking out. And then Lumpy, Chewie's kid, is like he's like a walking meme, and it was so guys, it is so ridiculous. They don't do subtitles, they don't do any explaining, and it starts with like a good 10, 15, maybe even 20-minute sequence. Yeah, that emoji is it. Zink, that's it. How did you find that? That is his dad. That's Chewbacca's dad. The ugliest thing I've ever laid eyes on. And, you know, no offense, but his wife's not really a looker either. And the kid looks ridiculous. The whole thing's ridiculous. And they're just like just back and forth. No explanation. Nothing. It was amazing. There are sections of it where, for instance, this one dude gives a, like, virtual reality present to Chewie's dad, and Chewie's dad, like, goes into this, like, dream sequence thing where he's watching this, like, lady kind of do this tantalizing, you know, kind of weirdly sexual song and dance, and it's all, like, in Chewie's dad's head, and you're just sitting there like, what the fuck is happening right now? There's another part where, and I think it's it's not the Boba Fett part. There's this other part where the Imperial officers come in and they're searching the residence, which, by the way, looked like the set of Mr. Rogers, complete with, like, a modern day door with weird, like it looks so ridiculously out of place, okay? And at one point, one of the officers is, like, examining this thing, and it's like a weird laptop thing that basically shows you this, like, rock show of, like, you know, kind of like a kind of a fun song that actually kind of slap, but it's just, like, so crazy, and the transitions are, like, non-existent. So, like, it's a really jarring, like almost like a mind fuck or something. It's so weird, dude. I was not prepared for how weird it was. And I just think, like, as a Star Wars fan, as somebody that's like a huge nerd, to go through that was, dude, right, Ross? Like, it was wild. Like, I'm not doing it justice, the weirdness of it. But But the thing that came out of it that was good, right? Because like, man, I needed a little. I took like a little break after that. I went on a drive. I was like, I walked out all quiet. Elisa's like, "What's wrong?" I was like, I just got to go on a drive. And I just kind of had to have like a little private existential crisis. It was like really weird. But one of the things that's cool about it, one of the things that's positive was, bro, it made me realize there's all these sort of corners and maybe hidden chambers and secret things within all of this nerdy stuff that a lot of us have not experienced. And I had a blast experiencing it with you guys in the chat. And it made me realize, like, yo, there's no sub button on Twitch because I haven't set it up yet. I'll set it up. I'll set it up. We'll get it set up. But yeah, it just made me realize, I was like, oh man, that's so crazy. But that was really fun to go through that with the community. So what I want to do next year, I think this is what I'm going to do. And we'll talk more about this tomorrow. I think we're going to take the Nerdvengers stream and we're going to move it to Tuesday evening. And I'm going to lengthen the stream and we're going to go over like a couple of different things. And I kind of want to do some like fun, if you're a nerd, you will get value out of this sort of things, experiencing different like comic book runs, maybe via like a book club kind of a thing, watching certain movies or versions of shows from the past that are hard to find, things like that. I want to give us like a real hardcore edumacation when it comes to these nerdy things. So next year, that's something I really want to do. And I think it would be really fun to kind of just enhance the experience of being a Nerdvenger, because we do a ton of cool stuff, for the members. But I'm always trying to think of like, well, what could we do that would be really cool for the community to experience together? That would also like enhance your nerdy knowledge and experience, and just give a few more feathers in your caps. A nerducation. I like that. Yes, a nerducation. That's what we're gonna be doing in 2024. So we'll be talking about that tomorrow, and then we'll kind of put it into practice at the beginning of next year. Okay, a couple other things I want to get into. I do want to talk about the fights a little bit. I know like that's not really it's like Den of Nerds, UFC. It's not like the perfect combo, but I definitely gotta talk about just the absolute joke of a human being, Kobe Covington, man. What a fucking joke. But before that, here's what I'll say. This is what I want to say. As far as show notes are concerned for this week, we're gonna stream today. We're gonna stream Wednesday, but no stream on Friday and no stream on Monday. Technically, that's not true, because we will do a Diamond Lounge stream Friday night. We're going to do a Christmas-themed Diamond Lounge stream. So if you've been a member for 6 months or more, make sure you get that link and get into the Discord, because we'll be doing that 7:30 at night, Friday night. And it's going to be a really cool kind of Christmas-themed Diamond Lounge stream, but we won't have a regular stream for everybody Friday. We won't have any streams on Monday. So, kind of like a little bit of a holiday break or whatnot. Our last stream publicly on Wednesday is going to be a really fun Christmas-themed stream. We're going to do a couple of Christmas-related things, like I'm doing a Christmas cookie tier list on Wednesday. And so we're going to get like a bunch of the pop, which, by the way, if you have a certain Christmas cookie that you really think is awesome that I should put on my Christmas cookie tier list, let me know. And we'll maybe get that going on Wednesday. But I want like maybe around 10 cookies, and I'll try them live. I think I'm going to try a bite on its own, and then a bite with some milk, and then we'll do a Christmas cookie tier list. I'm thinking about doing a Christmas movie tier list as well. I think that could be kind of fun. So yeah, just kind of like a more casual stream on Wednesday morning for the last like official stream before Christmas. So that's gonna be really cool. Other than that, I don't know that I have any other show notes. Working on some videos. Gonna try to get some videos up this week and into next week. The Clips channel, I'll be rolling out clips all throughout the week, so make sure you go check that out. And I think that might be everything. Unity. Let me double check something real quick. But as far as Unity is concerned, I believe right now, I know all the pages, which I didn't realize. I guess it got to 42 pages for the first chapter, which is a little crazy. So we're going to have to try to watch that and not go to like 200 pages for this first volume. Wow. But yeah, 42 pages for the first chapter, and all the illustrations are done. And I think we are on the last page for colors. And then the letterer goes to work. So I haven't heard back from the letterer. Maybe I'll get an email today, maybe later today, maybe tomorrow. I don't know if we'll be able to get the whole thing lettered before Christmas. I want it to be. But also, like, I totally understand, like, you know, we got a week. Dude's probably got holiday stuff, family stuff going on. So, yeah, that's kind of what we're doing. Yeah, on Wednesday, we will do some giveaways for sure. We'll do, what I want to do, actually, is I'm going to go get some cool stuff, and I'm going to wrap it, actually. So, I'm going to have some actual presents. You guys won't even know what they are. But we'll do giveaways for those presents, and I will ship them out for you guys, like right after the stream. I don't think they'll get there by Christmas, but yeah. So, yeah, we'll do that. I think that'll be kind of fun, like a little mystery, like, ooh, you know. So, yeah. The Unity doll, it's not a doll. What are my Christmas traditions? Well, to be honest with you, like, I haven't had a lot of traditions in the past couple of years. Like, my only one tradition was just like going up to my mom's in Boston, and I would try to make it there as much as I possibly could for Christmas, right? But now, you know, with Liam and, you know, our own family here, we're starting like our own tradition. So one of the things we do is we went out this year and got a Christmas tree from a Christmas tree farm. And we went out with my dad, so it's like Liam and me and Liam's grandpa. You know, we all went out and picked the Christmas tree, cut it down together, and set it up. So that's pretty cool. And then we're kind of like hosting. Oh, we did this other thing. I think it was last week. Yeah, we went to Pittsburgh and we did this. There's like this light show at the zoo. And so our family and my buddy's family, we went to this like zoo thing. It was really cool. We kind of like drive through the zoo. They have this like light show that represents all the different animals. And then there was like Santa at the end. And so that was really cool. So we're trying to build some traditions. You know, we're trying to build some traditions ourselves. And I guess this was like kind of the first year of kind of starting that up. So yeah, that's where we go. Okay, so we can talk about the fights a little bit just because I know some of you guys wants to know about this. Going into, I'll say it like this, going into the Colby Covington, Leon Edwards fight, right? Pretty much everything had gone, at least on the main card, not the way I wanted it to go. Okay, so I was kind of bummed, and I'm really sick of my favorite old fighters getting kind of fed to these new fighters. And, you know, so I was pretty disappointed in all that sort of stuff. And I was like, man, if Colby just wins this, then I was literally going to post a meme of Dana White and basically be like, this motherfucker just got everything he wanted, and it makes me sick. Because I, like many of you guys, kind of believed that, you know, Dana really wanted to build up Colby. Like, Colby, you know, love him or hate him, and there's a lot of people that feel both ways. He, like, sells fights, so that's kind of the draw. So I think Dana really wanted Colby to be champ. And so I was happy that at least that didn't go the way, at least the last fight went my way, because I was rooting for Leon. I was rooting for Leon before all the shenanigans this week. But I think that Colby, like, look, I think Colby had like maybe one of the worst weeks ever because he was just so crazy and controversial and so manic in the press conference. I think he said shit that even he regretted. And then, look, he looked like absolute shit. He fought horrible. And I'll tell you this. This is what I really think is going on. Maybe he was injured. Maybe a lot of stuff was going on. But I got to tell you, I think at the end of the day, Colby was literally just trying to survive in there, because I think he felt this angst deep inside of him that he knew he had crossed such a line that if Leon got him in a choke or Leon knocked him out, Leon was going to deform him, take a piece of his flesh, like hurt him in ways that were like he basically evoked a cosmic justice level horrible possibilities. I think he literally was afraid because he fought like a scared little bitch. And unless he was injured, maybe he was injured, but it felt like to me there was this piece inside of him that was so scared to engage Leon because he thought he might actually get hurt in a way that would maybe even be justified, to be honest with you. And he fought so scared. He looked so horrible. And then he's literally fucked up, scratch, blood coming down his face, and be like, I don't have a scratch on me. And he's limping out of the arena with ice on him. He's an absolute joke. He's an absolute loser. It was so cool to see the crowd turn on this dude. It was so cool. Because, for whatever reason, the crowd was still like riding with Colby all the way up until Colby started talking about how he won the fight. And it was just like, it was a level of nonsense that I think even people that like Colby couldn't stomach, man. And so I felt like that was not only a huge dub for Leon, but a dub for MMA, a dub for the UFC, just a dub for good human beings. Fuck Colby Covington. So that was awesome. Now, the other side, the other thing that happened in the fight that was like really like altered the way I think about things, okay, was the Tony Ferguson fight. And look, guys, I don't know if you realize what just happened with the Tony Ferguson fight, but basically you've got one guy in Tony Ferguson that's like super serious, trained with David Goggins. And I think a lot of you guys know who David Goggins is, but basically David Goggins is the epitome of the stoic, grind set, manosphere, kind of a guy. I think if you're a fan of David Goggins, you want to like push yourself to the absolute limits. You aspire to change, what you can handle as a human being and all these sort of things, right? Like he's the epitome of that kind of energy. Okay. And then you have Patty Pimblett on the other side, who literally will balloon up like a whale, eating all the good food that he possibly can, being a super crazy memester, and just this young guy that like is basically like gets fat and doesn't care. Okay. So there was a lot on the line for this fight. And after Tony lost, I don't know about you guys, but I went right to the snack drawer. I was like, man, fuck David Goggins. Man, fuck all that shit. Give me the snacks, bro. Give me the snacks. It doesn't work. It doesn't matter. Who gives a shit about any of that anymore? So I had it in, I felt so good, liberated, because I was like, man, like, I really like chicken wings. Like, I really like, Christmas cookies and Christmas ham and all this kind of stuff. And I was starting to feel bad. And I'm telling you, if Tony would have won, oh my God, I would have shaped up. I would have stopped it. And I would have had a miserable holiday season. So thank God, even though it was hard for me to accept this, I thank the gods for allowing me to be the fat fucking American that I am, and to be happy and to realize that all that shit's bullshit. It's like motivation porn, and you're much better off just hitting a few blinkers and going to the fucking snack. So yeah, a really transformative weekend. I think, for the sport, for the fans, and a real roller coaster ride of emotion. So there you have it. And I guess one more thing to go over here is the actual fight of the night. And that would be Strickland and du Plessis. And I can't believe Sean Strickland threw more shots than Colby totally washed journeyman bitch-ass Covington. But he did. Sean Strickland threw more shots than bitch-ass Covington. I couldn't believe it. But I do have to say, here's the thing. I absolutely love Sean Strickland. I really like Sean Strickland. But I don't know about you guys, but I think he's just wrong on this one. You know what I mean? Strickland goes hard at every person to a degree that is somewhat appalling to a lot of people. And I think du Plessis is right. You can't do that, say all that, walk, and then not be able to handle it. I absolutely love Strickland. I think, look, he's a psycho. And some of the stuff he says, I'm like, oh, that kind of makes sense. He's right about Andrew Tate. He's right about Colby. He's right about a lot of things. But he's also wrong here. I'm sorry. It's just wrong. And then there was a clip that came out of Strickland doing some kind of show with Brandon Schwab. And Strickland's literally joking about how men need to get their ass beat by their fathers a little bit more, and kind of joking about his own father and that whole situation. So look, you know what I think all of this is really a lesson of? I mean, first of all, number one, it just shows how mentally tough Leon Edwards is, and he deserves all the credit because he was very affected by what Colby said, and yet he pulled it together, remained calm, and dominated bitch-ass Colby. I mean, he out-wrestled him. He literally dominated in ways that's I don't know how Colby looks at himself in the mirror ever again, But it just shows, number one, how mentally strong Leon Edwards is. Number two, it shows that, if you really want to be unaffected by this kind of trash talk, because the whole idea of the trash talk thing, right, is you're getting locked in a cage with someone trained to hurt people. You're also trained to hurt people, but you're getting locked in a cage with somebody who's getting paid to try to hurt you as much as possible. The goal is to hurt your opponent so much that they quit or can't continue, or the doctor has to step in, right? So we sort of forgive the trash talk because, yes, it's appalling. Yes, I think family crosses the line. But at the same time, if you're getting locked in a cage with somebody who wants to hurt you, any edge you can get, I think, is fair. It's fair in war, meaning that mental game is potentially an asset. And we all recognize that. That's why we kind of let some of that shit go. Well, my thing is, if you really want to be free of that, if you really want to be invincible, if you really want to be not affected by that, you have to process that trauma on your own. If you haven't processed that, if you're not actually adjusted, if you're not actually really okay, then you are you're basically giving power to your opponent. You know what I mean? So again, I love Sean Strickland. I think he's wrong. I don't see a world in which Sean feels like he can say all the things he says, but this certain thing is off limits. That's crazy, dude. I'm sorry, it's just wrong. So, interesting though, that they would do that. I mean, apparently Dana sat them together, and it's crazy because Dana keeps saying that's bad and we don't need this for the sport. But I mean, that card, for those of you that watched it, are you more excited for the card now? I mean, I can't wait. I personally cannot wait to see du Plessis and Sean get locked in that cage now. You know what I'm saying? So it's one of those things where it's that's a shame. And now I'm really interested. So, Yeah, good nights of fight. A good night of fights. I mean, the ladies in the prelim, man, that one fight, I forget the names of the ladies, but I mean, that was one of the most savage, brutal fights I've ever seen. That was crazy. So, yeah, good night of fights. I think the main card was a little underwhelming for a lot of us, especially that final fight. But yeah, I still had a good time. Liked it. I'm looking forward to the fights next year. I still think, the UFC and MMA, it's the best sport, period. Like, I can't even really watch football anymore. There's just very few sports that I can really engage with. And the UFC, I think, is that. And damn, dude, it was still fun. It was still a good ass time, for sure. Aldana versus Rosa. Yeah, dude, those ladies, man, holy shit. That was crazy. Like, goddamn. Hockey is the best sport. I know people that really like hockey. I don't know, man. I'll watch a hockey game. I like watching hockey, but nah, not really. Not for me. Definitely not the best sport. Okay, so now that we've kind of chatted for a little bit, I'm wondering if there's anything else I wanted to talk about before we got into the actual official news here. Let me think. Is there anything else? Did I miss? Oh, yeah. One more thing. Okay. Yo, are you gonna lie to Liam about Santa? Yeah, I am, for at least a little bit. But yeah, no, definitely. Okay, man, you're wrong. What about what? Master Hawk? About the UFC, MMA not being the best sport in the world? What are you talking about? Basketball is my fave, but I only really watch the Warriors and Raiders. I mean, I like playoff basketball for sure. Playoff basketball is great. Also, what is happening with the camera? Does it keep going black for y'all? What is happening here? I feel like I'm getting black screened over here. What Christmas movie you watching? Oh, I like a lot of Christmas movies, man. Yeah, what's up with that? That's weird. Yeah, that's weird, huh? Yeah, it's the whole screen. That's crazy. That's got to be the encoder or something. Yeah. Okay, so one other thing I wanted to just kind of talk about here was, so I've been watching Berserk, the old anime from 1997. Great manga. Everybody always talks about Berserk, and I have the manga, but I wanted to check out the anime and the one from 97, and I've been tearing through it. It's like 26 episodes, and I'd always heard that the ending of that anime and the first eclipse in the manga is like one of the most dark things you've ever seen. It's like, people would always say that. They'll be like whenever you get one of those discussions of like twisted, dark entertainment, a lot of people bring up Berserk. A lot of people are like, yo, that shit is the darkest ending I've ever seen. And so we're watching it, and I'm really enjoying it. I really liked it. I liked the whole way through. But there was a little part of me that was like, where's the dark shit? I was like, I don't understand. I was like, there's no dark like shit. Like a little bit here, a little bit there. There's like some teasing and whatnot. And then when you get into that final stretch of episodes and you actually experience the eclipse, ladies and gentlemen, that is like maybe the darkest thing I've ever seen. It is so dark and twisted, and it just makes you feel really gross, and like your stomach knots up, and then you don't even know how to feel about all of this stuff. It is the darkest shit I've ever seen, and it was absolutely incredible. So I don't know, like, if you're a fan of that kind of stuff, which I'm not always a fan of that stuff. Like sometimes I like the light stuff, you know what I mean? Sometimes I like the dark stuff, you know. I like all kind of things. But if you're into that sort of stuff, wow. You should definitely watch. I would try to find that anime, and I'd watch those 26 episodes, because unfortunately it's not on Crunchyroll. Unfortunately, the 97 anime is like, you can't find it anywhere. That we tried anyway. But oh my god, it is incredibly dark. And I now would love to see that in live action. Like, I was thinking about that as I was watching it. I was like, well, this is bananas. But also, oh man, I would love to see a movie like this. But the problem is you'd have to do like a 3-hour movie, because you need like 2 hours to build the that whole relationship and all of the different characters. Like, you have to build the Hawks up to make the darkness make sense in those final moments. But oh man, like some of y'all know what I'm talking about, and that, wow, just one of the craziest endings to an anime I've ever seen. And it's wild that they were like, let's end it there. But it's great because it's like, okay, now you want to read the manga and you want to like get like really into it. But wow, very dark. So I just wanted to kind of mention that because I know I've been talking about it a little bit on streams here and there, and finally got there, and whoa, wow, wee wah, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, so now let's get into the actual news, man. Let's get it started. And first on the docket today, and really the most important thing, and I think, you know, if you guys are down, we can just spend the whole stream kind of covering this. And that's right, I tricked you all. It is secretly a Warhammer stream. Dun, dun, dun! It's a Warhammer stream now. Buckle up. I'm not even kidding, guys. I woke up, and one of the first things I saw was people tagging me in this, and I was elated. Oh my goodness. It was like waking up to the best news ever. Oh my goodness, guys. I gotta explain it, but I gotta give you the lore. I gotta talk about why this is such a big deal. Oh my god. And this explains so much, guys. Buckle up. It's Warhammer time, motherfuckers. Okay, so we got an update today published by Games Workshop. That's the company that owns Warhammer. And this is a positive announcement about the Henry Cavill Warhammer 40,000 cinematic universe. Now, before we get into the actual news and updates here, I need to give you the lore and explain. Wait, what? No way, it's been 40 minutes. Oh my god! You guys got to get me going, man. I'm trying. What? 40 minutes? That's on you, chat. That is your fault. Okay, anyway, let me explain. Let me talk to you about why this is such a big deal. I was losing faith, okay? Now, as many of you guys know, I absolutely love Warhammer. Got into Warhammer like a year and a half ago, 2 years, and I've been obsessed. When the first announcement of the Henry Cavill thing happened, I went nuts. We had a really cool stream. This is sort of in the wake of James Gunn firing him as Superman, and we were all like, oh, man, this is really, you know, whatever. And then the Warhammer announcement happened. Now, I was so excited about this Warhammer cinematic universe that I started a Warhammer lore channel because I was like, oh man, I love the lore. I want to start making videos about this. And then if it actually happened, I'd be like, oh shit, we're covering the shit out of this live action 40K universe because I think it is so rich in lore and so interesting as a setting that it could be bigger than Game of Thrones. Like, this is like when Dan and Dave read A Song of Ice and Fire, and they were like, because as producers, right, and Hollywood folk, they read that book and they were like, we could make a whole world based off of this in live action, and thus you get the Game of Thrones show. Game of Thrones then goes on to be one of the biggest things ever, a massive staple in pop culture. Hot D still holding the torch of that thing moving forward. So that's what they have with Warhammer. However, hey, you shut your mouth, Matei! However, over the past year, I had gotten some troubling updates from people, and I began to feel like this shit wasn't going to happen. So I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. This is actually part of the reason why I backed off of doing videos on the main channel. Because I was kind of, I was really let down that this wasn't going to happen. And I was like, damn, dude, like, I really thought this could be the next big thing. You know, like Rebel Moon will inevitably be the next big thing. Shut your mouth, chat. And so I was like, okay, well, we're doing this. It's all part of the plan. Let's get the Warhammer channel going. Oh, yeah. And then Warhammer live action. Oh, my God. And we're doing watch parties for Warhammer. We're doing breakdown videos for Warhammer. Let's go. And then I was like, damn, bro, they're not going to do it. I heard all kinds of things. I mean, I heard that it was a 3-way contract negotiation that was going terribly. I heard that the Amazon side of it was really tough for Games Workshop to get around. I heard that the thing was just in development hell. And then when you hear about like Cavill getting some other jobs, right? Because he's going to be in the Highlander thing. He's in the Argyle thing, right? I was like, damn, bro, this shit's not going to happen. And I was really bummed about it, okay? And then at addition to this, right, I'll throw in a little, just another additional thing here. There were some rumors that came out over the past couple of months that Games Workshop had like fumbled this negotiation. And somebody was getting fired. It was like really bad. Somebody had agreed to something that they didn't. Like there were the really weird rumors. And then GW's stock actually began to fall a little bit. And some people were speculating that their stock was dropping because the rumors were real. And all this growth that Wall Street thought was going to happen because of the cinematic universe was now off the table. And Warhammer was going to kind of diminish and kind of just be what it's always been, which has been kind of niche. I mean, the Warhammer fandom is strong, but it's relatively small, you know, compared to a lot of other fandoms, right? So that's why when I saw this news, I got really excited, man. So let's just read over this article. I'll talk about why it's so dope. And then maybe if we're feeling it, we'll talk about the Marvel Civil War stuff. I don't even know if we have to, you know. Henry Cavill's Warhammer 40,000 cinematic universe now properly rolling. Have faith in the God Emperor, of course. Games Workshop has broken its year-long silence on Henry Cavill's hotly anticipated Warhammer 40,000 cinematic universe for Amazon, insisting it's now full steam ahead. A year after Amazon Studios announced it had secured the rights to Warhammer 40,000 and planned to start a universe of Warhammer programming that would be executive produced by star Henry Cavill, Games Workshop has finally confirmed it has signed a full agreement contract with Amazon, and the next stage can begin. Warhammer 40,000 is Game Workshop's science fiction universe used as a setting for his hugely popular tabletop war game starring the iconic Space Marines. Hey, whoa, what's a Space Marine, you ask? Oh, don't worry, I got you, fam. I got you. Look at this. Wait, what? Get me on the big screen. Get me on the big screen. Oh, what's... Whoa. Dude, they're so cool. Oh, shit. I didn't paint this one, though. I thought about lying to you guys and saying that I did, but I didn't paint this one. I bought this boy. But, I mean, look at how cool. Look at how beautiful it is. Okay, anyway. Let's keep reading here. Starring iconic, it's a grimdark universe in which humanity clings on survival and faces a terrifying threats within and without the fascist imperium. That is true. It's not unusual for projects to take 2 or 3 years from this point before something arrives on screen. That's important to note. It will probably be years before we actually see any of this, but maybe not. Maybe they, sort of get at least one thing out relatively quickly, but that is true. And also, God damn it, it is not a doll. It sounds like Games Workshop and Amazon alongside Cavill are workshopping what Warhammer 40,000 stories it wants to tell, getting the first scripts written and then into production. It's unclear whether the project should kick off with a movie or a TV show. Games Workshop teases it may end up doing both first. I would say do both. I think both is a good idea, especially because of the dense nature of the Warhammer lore and the stories that they have. All we can tell you right now is that an elite band of screenwriters, each with their own particular passion for Warhammer, is being assembled to help bring the setting and characters you love to screen. Games Workshop said in a blog post. This illustrious group will be championed by Henry Cavill, who stands ready to take his place as executive producer, bringing his pen, sword, and or spear to the project. Okay, so let's stop for just one freaking second here, because this is part of the reason why fans got so excited about this. any Warhammer fan knows Henry Cavill loves Warhammer, okay? He's had the brand and the stories of Warhammer become very high profile in a couple of different interviews and places where they're like, they're talking about The Witcher or whatever, and they're like, Henry Cavill, what do you love? And he's like, Warhammer. And then it just like goes on a thing, okay? We also know that Henry Cavill beefed majorly with the people at The Witcher. Now, there's a little bit of mix of here and there. Like, some people say Henry Cavill's really hard to work with. I've actually heard he is really hard to work with. But I think one of the reasons he's hard to work with is because he read the fucking Witcher books. He knows that this is goobly glob Hollywood Netflix bullshit, and he's calling it out. Okay? So he's calling it out, and he's trying to get them to understand, like, this is not in the source material. He didn't have control over that. He didn't have control over The Witcher. But The Witcher started out all right, and now it's goobly glob, right? So he leaves that show, and we were excited because as a lifelong Warhammer fan and someone that deeply loves source material and gets very frustrated with Hollywood tinkering, he was the guy, man. He was the guy. And so, man, people are quite excited that Cavill will be involved. And in this whole thing that they say of like an elite band of screenwriters, each with their own particular passion for Warhammer, that's good news. It means, and this is again because Cavill is leading this thing, they are picking people that love Warhammer. Not people that want a job, not people that want to take Warhammer, turn it into something that it's not somebody that just wants something high profile, not somebody that wants to subvert expectations, somebody that loves Warhammer for exactly what it is, and it is very dark. So that's good news. Now, the other thing that's dope is when it says here, they tease bringing his pen, sword, and or spear to the project. That is a hint that Henry Cavill is going to be playing a member of the Adeptus Custodes. Okay, so now let's stop for a second and talk about the Custodes. By the way, the Warhammer channel is coming back. I don't know if we'll drop a video this week, but I'm now like, because of this news in particular, I'm 100% getting back to the channel, and the next video will be a Custodes video where I'll break down the full lore and why these people, why the Custodes are so incredible, okay? But this is Cavill's favorite army, the Custodes. They are like these gigantic golden super soldiers that guard the Emperor of Mankind, for basically who is a god. So think of this as like the bodyguards of God. That's basically what the Custodes are. There's a lot more to it, obviously, but that's what they are. Most importantly, they have these gigantic spears, which are usually what they use as their weapons. The spears also are guns and power weapons, and it takes, I think, 14 normal mortal men to lift one of the Custodes' spears. So they're so gigantic and made of this aramite metal that it takes 14 people to lift these fucking things. And the Custodes whip these things around with like almost zero effort because they're super soldier, demigod like beings. It's awesome. So that little tease of like the spirit of the project, really cool, man. Gets me excited. Woo! Let's go, Custodes! Let's read on here. While this is certainly exciting news for Warhammer 40,000 fans, yes, they shouldn't hold their breath for a first look. Yeah, probably not. Games Workshop moved to manage expectations by saying it often takes a few years for any film or TV show to materialize after contracts are signed. It says here, TV and film production is a mammoth undertaking. Games Workshop said, it's not unusual for projects to take 2 to 3 years from this point before something arrives on screen. Still, things are now properly rolling, and you can bet we'll bring you all the latest updates and cool snippets as soon as we are able to. Right now, there's no word on who Henry Cavill may play across the 40K universe. He talked about the Primarchs or the Captain Generals. He talked about what he really said was, I believe, Valdor. He's like, I don't know if I could be an Inquisitor when Valdor's right there or the Primarchs are right there or whatever, right? So he's probably going to be Constantine Valdor, the first created custodian. now the King in Yellow, which is a whole nother thing. Holy crap, I am super excited. So out of the blue, when, again, a lot of the news was pretty bad and seemed down, to get an update like this, man, Christmas came early for your boy. So now we will open it up to questions for the remainder of the stream, which will be a Warhammer 40,000 question and answer thing. A lot of people are getting upset over the Warhammer talk. Who cares? Hi, question. What the fuck was all that? Oh, bro, you got to check out this channel. Adam, you got to check out this channel called Warhammer Explained. Great channel. Hasn't posted in a while, but is coming back. So check it out. Check it out. Who are a lot of people? I don't know what that means, but yes. No Snorehammer, Borehammer. Right on. Question, is Warhammer similar to StarCraft? So I think there's some similarities because there were some great RTS games, like the Total War games, that were made within the Warhammer universe, which are RTS. They're basically like StarCraft, but not really. I mean, Warhammer is more... I gotta be honest, I don't know the lore of StarCraft, so I don't really know. But Warhammer is a tabletop game, so you play it on the tabletop, but it's like a massive library of novels. That's how the lore happens in Warhammer. It's like hundreds and hundreds of novels, which are dope as hell. Because I got into StarCraft growing up and you love that world. Yeah, that's cool. Question, do you have a golden doll to show us? I got some custodes. You guys want me to go get some of my custodes? Is that what you want? You want me to show off some of my custodes? I mean, I'll do it if you guys are down. Like, they're just in the next room. You got to give me just a minute. I'll go get them. Why the fuck not? Woo! Let's go! I'll be right back. Oh, wait. Hang on. This is weird. This is weird, but I actually have to take the headphones with me because of reasons. I'll explain it when I come back. Okay. Okay, so, yeah. Okay, so, unfortunately, my main Custodes army is in the car, so I'm not going to go all the way out to the car. But I took my Custodes army when we went down to Pittsburgh and was playing my buddy. So, I can't bring all of them in, okay? But luckily, my army's so big that I have a bunch in the house. Anyway, so check this out. Here's one right here. This is the current Captain General, Trajan Valoris. Crazy dude, okay? Crazy dude. He's actually a political leader. Like, he has a spot on the Council of Terra. So he's actually like kind of political, but also an absolute fucking animal on the battlefield. He has this thing. Oh, guys, I'm so glad we're all having fun talking about Warhammer. It's so exciting. So let me explain. He's got this thing called the Moment Shackle, which is a piece of technology from the dark age of technology. I know you're probably wondering what that is. We'll explain it later. But this thing, he can literally freeze and manipulate time with it. It's crazy. So, absolute badass. Here's another one. This is one I painted. Uh-oh. Oh, there we go. There we go. Not too bad. Not too bad, huh? Yeah. So that's a custodian guard with a sword and shield. Yeah. And then I want to show you this one. Okay, so check this out. This is a custodian guard with a shield and a sword. God damn it. What the hell? Okay, but do you notice how this one has black armor? I don't know if you notice the black armor. Okay, so the custodians have these different like chapters or whatever, right? And that one is from the Black Cells, okay? So underneath the palace on Terra, there's these things known as the Black Cells, which have all these hidden prisoners and technology and all this crazy stuff. They're called the Shadow Keepers, okay? Because they literally just sign up for their whole lives to be down there. And their armor becomes black from all the soot. What is Terra? It's Earth. That's like Earth. So... yeah, I've got Shadow Keepers. I have like a whole bunch of Shadow Keeper painted Custodes, as well as the regular gold Custodes. So, all right. What other questions about Warhammer? How much longer can we talk about Warhammer? What else? The Black Cells. What about Black Frieza? I would love to know more about Black. Aren't talking about it in the manga, which is weird. So. What else, guys? What other things? Who's the most badass custodian? That would be Valdor, 100%. So Valdor was the very first custodian, and he's still alive now. So he's been alive for like, I don't know, 14,000 years. I don't know. I'd have to look at exactly how old he is, but he's the strongest custodian. He's beaten Primarchs before in like training and stuff like that. So, yeah, he's pretty awesome. What about the girls in Warhammer? So the custodians have a chapter within known as the Sisters of Silence. And they're all female, but they're also what are known as blanks. It's really interesting. So they're born either without a soul or without a connection to the warp. And they actually like propel back the warp. It's a little bit like the Ysalamari from Star Wars. Dude, there are a lot of babes in Warhammer. The Sisters of Battle or the Adeptus Sororitas are basically like sexy warrior nun waifus. Yeah. Oh, y'all don't know about the Sisters of Battle? Bro, babes. That's all I'm saying. Babes. So look, I'm just glad that we're all Warhammer fans now and that we can just talk about Warhammer all day all long. Okay. So I guess maybe we should talk a little bit about Marvel, huh? I guess. We'll talk a little bit about Marvel. Pull them up, Jamie? Should I pull up the Sisters of Battle? Okay, let's do this. You don't have to tell me twice. Aw, shit. So this is over on Pinterest. Here's one of them. Here's one. Here's some Sisters of Battle. I mean, yo. I mean, yo. I mean, yo. Yeah. I mean, yo. Mm-hmm. Let's go. Okay. So, dude, Anna Taylor-Joy, yes, please. You can keep your Star Wars. Yeah, dude. Look, nothing would make me happier, guys, if in the next couple of years the Warhammer cinematic universe really popped off and became the next big thing. I fucking love Warhammer. I'm really disgruntled with Marvel and Star Wars. It would be dope. Okay. Now, speaking of that, let's get into some Marvel news. This news actually is intriguing for me, and I do think it's kind of cool. Okay, so we'll finish up with this, and we'll get into a little Q&A, and then we'll call it. Okay? But we've got some new information kind of being teased out there from some leakers and some insiders, okay, that Spider-Man 4 may be either a civil war or the start of a civil war, okay? And this was teased out by a couple of different people. HD Cryptic Shot dude who used to just post the runtime of things but now is like scooping and stuff, which is like weird, but whatever. Was talking about this. Alex Perez was kind of backing him up. They kind of had like a little back and forth about it. And it seems like in Spider-Man 4, you're probably going to get a street level version of Civil War. Okay? But let's explain what this probably is and how it will work, because I actually think this is maybe one of the coolest things Marvel could do, and it could go a long way to getting people hyped up and excited about the rest of the MCU moving forward towards Secret Wars. Okay, so the basic idea is that this is all centered around Wilson Fisk likely becoming the mayor of New York City. Okay? And what would likely happen if Wilson Fisk was the mayor of New York City is he would outlaw vigilantes. Now, we know from She-Hulk that the Sokovia Accords were ratified, revoked, like they don't exist anymore or whatever. So the Sokovia Accords, not a thing anymore. Okay? But that was what had happened, of course, in the first Civil War. The first Civil War, you have Team Tony, who is essentially like, we need to be answerable to the UN. We should be an officially sanctioned group. We need rules. We need to be put in check. All of these things. You guys remember. And of course, Captain America was like, well, what if they go, so we don't want to be in control. It's still better if we're in our own hands, if we're independent. We don't want to be working for some kind of global organization, right? So that was the initial beef, and you saw different characters kind of split along those lines. And Civil War is a fantastic movie. So good to this day. I think one of the best Marvel has ever made. So if we kind of take that logic and we think about what Spider-Man 4 could be, the last time we saw Peter Parker, and oh man, was it cool, we saw Peter Parker essentially, finally becoming the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. You know, he's been on the other side of that thing. He was also widely known because his identity was, you know, spilled by Mysterio. And so he knows all about that. And it seems like Peter would probably want to just be Spider-Man, the vigilante. And if Kingpin introduced legislation that made it so you'd have to be an officially sanctioned hero working for the government, you would think that Peter would not want to do that. And I think right now what a lot of people are speculating about, and I do think it's speculation, is that you're going to see Daredevil and Spider-Man be on the same team together, being sort of hunted by the government or being ran out of town by Kingpin and his goons, okay? But before we go any further, because there is some other stuff I want to talk about with regards to this, do you guys think that Peter would never work for Kingpin? Do you think that if this happened this way, do you think there's no way that Tom Holland Spider-Man would actually work with the Kingpin and would be a sanctioned hero? What do you think? What do you think, chat? Repeat that? God damn it. Do you think there's no way that Spider-Man would basically be Team Iron Man in the new Civil War? Do you think he would be like, no, I need to be vigilante, I'm not going to register, etc., etc.? Because to me, the more I thought about it, the more I was like, okay, that's probably the most obvious route, right? But I will tell you that one of the things that makes the first Civil War really good was the fact that Tony and Cap are on opposite sides, and yet you can see both sides of it. And it really works through some of the conversations they have. Like, remember when Cap was really close to signing, and then he just didn't because Tony was holding Wanda essentially hostage and all that sort of stuff? It was good because they are friends. It was good because you could see a scenario where they would be on the same side, and yet they weren't. And so the more I thought about it, I was like, you know, it would actually be more interesting if Daredevil and Spider-Man were on opposite sides of this. And then the more I thought about it, Peter's at a place right now where he really wants to be the hero. I think he obviously wants to be the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, but I also think he would step up to help the Avengers. I could see a scenario, especially because right now our Peter Parker is not familiar with Wilson Fisk at all. I could see a scenario where, sure, Peter understands what somebody like Daredevil is saying, but Peter actually might join with Wilson Fisk and become a sanctioned hero, either through an Avenger or a sanctioned hero in New York. And I personally think that would be much more interesting. That would be way cooler than if you just have Daredevil and Spider-Man on the same side. What do you think, chat? What do you think? Because it would be kind of cool if, like, Daredevil came to Spider-Man and was like, you don't know Kingpin the way I know Kingpin. This is not going to be good. But, like, Tom Holland, like, gets it. And he's like, nah, like, I understand where you're coming from, but we need heroes. They do need regulation, blah, 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 blah. I think that would be fantastic. And can you imagine, like, one of the things that was really cool in the first Civil War, the lead up between those two being on opposite sides and the whole, you know, are you Team Cap? Are you not team? Are you Team Tony? And then remember the funny skits where the Downey thing where he was like, is that the last sprinkle donut? I gotta find this clip. All right, check this out. This is so funny.
Morning. Evans? Downey. Is that the last donut with red, white, and blue sprinkles? What did I tell you would happen if you ate the last donut with red, white, and blue sprinkles?
A little foggy on it, but I think it was something like raining down hellfire.
That's right.
And here I am without an umbrella.
God damn
I
it.
feel a storm brewing.
Hold on. If we don't play that back, I'm canceling the press tour.
Perfect. Yeah, so this shit was awesome, man. Like, it was so cool, the marketing behind it. And I think part of it was the fun of those two dudes together, right? So I got to tell you, I think it might be fun to have Spider-Man on one side and Charlie Cox on the other side. I mean, imagine the interviews with Tom Holland and Charlie Cox kind of barking back and forth and arguing and you know, coming up. I really do think that would be a good way to go with it. I think that would be kind of cool. Now, that's probably not the way they're going to go, right? They will probably have Kingpin be on one side, and you will probably have Punisher, you know, Jessica Jones, maybe some other vigilantes trying to fight against like Kingpin and his people. Now, there's also an element here of this will be very different than the first Civil War, because I think this is also going to have an element of Dark Avengers or Dark Reign or the Devil's Reign from comics. Because I think some reformed villains and some other groups are going to be sanctioned by the government. And I think you might even see like some villains, right? Because there's rumor that Vulture will be in Spider-Man 4. Who knows for sure, but there's rumors that Vulture will be in there. I could see Vulture being an official hero. If Mysterio was still alive or brought back to life somehow, don't you think Mysterio would be a sanctioned hero? I mean, he was trying to be a hero before. Everybody thought he was a hero. A lot of people still believed him over Spider-Man in No Way Home. Thunderbolt members, absolutely. So this is another really interesting thread. The Thunderbolts are absolutely a government-sanctioned group of heroes with some reformed villains. And it looks like Bucky got wrapped up into that, probably as like a penance for his crimes or whatever, right, against the government. But think about it. You've got Wilson Fisk becoming the mayor of New York, and this devil reigns attitude, this idea of villains. Then you're probably going to have Thunderbolt Ross, the Red Hulk, becoming the president of the United States. We can imagine Red Hulk would want sanctioned heroes and no vigilantes. He was the guy that brought the Sokovia Accords up. So it's interesting, right? Like, he's probably going to do Sokovia Accords 2.0 or something like that. So it could be cool if you have the Thunderbolts and some other villains technically represented as heroes and acting as though they have the blessing of the United States government and of the people. And then you have the vigilantes that are the actual heroes that are not. This is very similar to Reign and to Dark Avengers. I love that book. I used to talk about that book all the time, right? Like, they need to do Dark Avengers in the MCU. And so this would have kind of a different element to it, which could be really interesting. So I'm probably going to do a full video breaking this down, because I want to pull together a lot of the other leaks and rumors we've heard and like explain why I think this could be really, really cool. But that's sort of the TLDR of it. So I'd love to know your thoughts. But then I also want to go through this list of heroes and ask you guys, do you think they would be Team Iron Man or Team Cap? And I know it's not technically Iron Man and Cap anymore, but I also think if I were Thunderbolt Ross, I would evoke the memory of Tony Stark as a way to try to push that regulation. You know what I'm saying? Everybody loves Tony Stark, big hero. I would push that. So I'm still going to call it Team Cap and Team Iron Man, okay? So let's get into that in just a second. And I want you guys to answer, would this be Team Cap or would this be Team Iron Man? Okay? So, first one. Sam Wilson. Sam Wilson, chat. What do you guys think? Team Cap? Team Iron Man? Yeah, right? Probably one of the easiest ones to do. He would be Team Cap. He was literally Team Cap before. The government kind of hates him because he was Team Cap. And also, we know, at least, I mean, we don't know for sure because they seem to be kind of remaking Captain America 4. But initially, Sam is going to have a team made up of Falcon and I think Sabra and some other people. And they're not the Thunderbolts. They're not the Avengers. This is like Sam Wilson's team. So we already know he's probably working with like a Secret Warriors kind of thing, the Underground Avengers, whatever you want to call them, right? So that's pretty easy. Daredevil, I also think is kind of easy. But what do you guys think of Daredevil? Team Cap or Team Iron Man? This is America. What do you think about Daredevil? Yeah, I think he's a pretty easy Team Cap. Team Iron Man, Angel says. Well, why would you think that? That's interesting, man. If you've got an explanation for it, let me know. Spider-Man. Again, we talked about this one already. I think it could go either way, man. I really think it could go either way with Spider-Man, but in all likelihood, probably Team Cap. Here's an interesting one for you. She-Hulk. What do you think of She-Hulk, chat? I think She-Hulk's Team Iron Man for sure. Who cares? I mean, yeah, look, I get it, but I think she's being set up to be a part of this, and I think she will be Team Iron Man. You know, she's a lawyer. She didn't really want to be a hero. She probably doesn't even think very highly of the Avengers. I think She-Hulk will be Team Iron Man. This one's pretty easy, but what do you think about the Punisher? What do you think about the Punisher? Yeah, Team Cap all day. Although more correctly, yeah, exactly. Kendall's right. No team. He's Team nah. You know what I mean? But he'll be probably dragged into it, which would be interesting. Here's one that's really interesting. What about Stephen Strange? What about Doctor Strange? What side would Doctor Strange be on? What about Captain Marvel and Thor? We're going to get there. I think he would be Team Iron Man as well. I think he would be Team Iron Man, especially after all of his experiences in Multiverse of Madness. I think he's going to come out on the side of like control, regulation, that kind of stuff. Yeah. Yeah, I think he would be Team Iron Man. What about Captain Marvel, guys? What about her? What about Captain Marvel? I think she's Team Iron Man. I think Captain Marvel, Nick Fury, and Miss Marvel, just maybe by association, will all be Team Iron Man. They'll be pro-regulation, pro-military control, and it would be crazy to see Captain Marvel actually like hanging out with the Dark Avengers. Dude, I'm telling you, like, I think they could do interesting stuff with Captain Marvel. I think this whole, like, let's try to make her the darling of the MCU and do, like, the sleepover pillow fight movie, like, I think that was a stupid idea. Like, there's interesting stuff you could do with Carol Danvers. They just refuse to do it. I think she would be Team Iron Man. What about Bruce Banner? What about Bruce Banner? Yeah. A lot of you guys, you guys are kind of split on this one. I think Bruce will be Team Iron Man. 100%. 100%. I think he wants control. I think he doesn't like vigilantism. I think Hulk would absolutely be Team Iron Man. Yep, 100%. Here's an interesting one. What do you think of Ant-Man? What do you think of Ant-Man? Wow, a lot of you guys say Cap. So here's what's interesting about Ant-Man. Obviously he was Team Cap before. Okay? The rumor is Ant-Man is going to be involved in Spider-Man 4. And what's interesting here is like people like Alex Perez and even I think Cryptic HD were sort of downplaying Ant-Man and just they're really convinced that it's going to be this like street level thing and like they're really attached to like the old rumors. But I believe Daniel and I believe that this Ant-Man thing is really important. I think Ant-Man will have a sizable role. Pause. And the more I thought about how this could all fit together, I think Ant-Man will be Team Tony Stark. He's either team Tony Stark or he's team I have no idea how he fits into this movie, because he says in the Quantumania kind of that he's a little bit retired, but he would also be there if the Avengers needed him. Well, I think the Avengers being a part of Spider-Man 4 could be really interesting. But if this like legislation goes through and if Thunderbolt Ross becomes president, if you want to be an Avenger, I think you will have to be registered. So I could actually see a scenario in which Ant-Man is on the side of that, not necessarily because he absolutely believes in it, but because he believes we need the Avengers, this is the way we do the Avengers, blah, 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 blah. Scott doesn't seem like really philosophical in that sense of like what's right and wrong here, but I think he, especially now having experiences with Kang, might know that they need strength and unity, and so it's better to just have them be a part of it. It would actually be really interesting if it was Ant-Man on the one side, pulling Peter in the direction of being an official Avenger, being registered, right? And then you had Daredevil on the one side, pulling Peter in the direction of, no, we need, anonymity. We need to be a vigilante. We need to be not registered. That could be really interesting to see Peter get kind of pulled in two directions by those characters. And the fact that Ant-Man is an Avenger, I just think it could happen that Ant-Man was actually Team Iron Man. Which could be kind of cool, you know? And then the other one I was wondering about would be Moon Knight. What do you think about Moon Knight, guys? What do you think about Moon Knight? So you know what's kind of interesting about Moon Knight? I bet Mark Spector would be Team Cap. But I think Steven might be Team Iron Man. Yeah, isn't that kind of fun? So, I mean, there's a huge opportunity there to do some really cool shit. And there's a lot of rumors that Moon Knight could be involved in Cap 4, or Moon Knight might be involved in... There's a lot of rumors and buzz around Moon Knight in the MCU. So that could be fun, you know? That could be really interesting. And then the last thing I wanted to talk about was just how cool it will be to potentially have some of these villains as Avengers or sanctioned heroes or whatnot, really giving me like the Reign or Dark Avengers vibe, right? So like Zemo, fantastic, dude. That would be incredible. Obviously all the Thunderbolts, Abomination, that would be super cool. White Vision. Now I know they're trying to do all this like Vision-y, Vision Quest bullcrap with like all the shows nobody cares about, but they should just say, screw all that. And Vision is a weapon. He was created by S.H.I.E.L.D., basically, right? So it would be crazy to see White Vision actually on the side of Iron Man and all of them, right? That would be kind of interesting. Justin Hammer. Wouldn't that be interesting? Get Justin Hammer back and have him be like a hero, the new Iron Man or whatever. That would be crazy. Bullseye. Oh, my God. I think we need Bullseye. And it would be amazing to see Bullseye as a hero, but he's Bullseye, so he's gonna go do horrible shit, right? But it would be crazy to see him like kind of propped up. That was one of the things that was really fun about Dark Avengers. Echo, I believe, will be Team Iron Man and Team Kingpin. Mysterio could come back to life, and that would be incredible. Vulture and Scorpion. And again, man, like I just think this could be a really cool thing for Marvel to set up, and I'd be really excited. Like, dude, if Spider-Man 4 is technically like Civil War 2, or maybe it sets up Civil War, and then like the World War Hulk movie is Civil War, or something like that, man, that would be really cool. So yeah, I would be down with that, guys. Would love to know what you guys think about that. And we'll get into Q&A in just a second here. Just a second. All right, let's do some Q&A, man, and then let's get on out of here, chat. Oh boy, where are we at here? Oh boy, where are we at here? Okay, so first in today was Toxic, says Denna Goats, also Unity, and thanks, brother. I appreciate all that support. Hunter Larson, Cheesy Fish, welcome to the Nerd Vengers. Jonathan says 1 year Nerd Vengers for life. Hashtag Unity. Have such a blast with these streams. Santa Claus punched a heretic in the face once, so you might just get more than coal. Wait, what? That's crazy. Is that like a Warhammer thing that I'm not sure about? What the fuck? Pretty Nikki again. I got a promotion with a nice pay raise. Nerd Vengers for life. That is beautiful to hear. Couldn't have happened to a nicer person. Thank you, Pretty Nikki. Steve says, legit, 1 minute in, and I thought Josh was going to shut off the holiday special. Yeah, it was crazy. That was an experience, man. Like, that was literally an experience going through that. So very wild, but also made me kind of appreciate, the community and some of the stuff we want to do. So I was grateful for the experience. Jedi John, welcome back to the Nerd Vengers. Kavid says roses are red. Josh, please be calm. Kathleen Kennedy is still at Lucas, but if it bombs, she gone. I know. One of the greatest mysteries of our time. Why does Kathleen Kennedy still have a job? Why? What's happening? James Burke says, Josh, remember when we watched the old Star Wars trailers? That was the most I had laughed for some time. Merry Christmas, brother. Yeah, for sure, man. I want to do more stuff like that too going into next year. I guess the thing that I'm sort of been thinking, and just over the holidays, I'm going to try to really gather some thoughts about this is, look, Marvel and Star Wars, they might be dropping the ball, but there's no reason that we as fans can't still continue to have fun and find interesting ways to engage with these brands and stuff like that. So no, that was a really funny stream, and we're going to continue to have a lot of funny streams going into next year as well. Jansen Baker says, just noticed today I'm a 2-year member now. Glad to follow you even when I occasionally get irritated. You demand. Well, thank you, brother. Look, 2 years is a lot of support, so I really appreciate that. And I know, I trust me, I am fully aware I can be irritating. Sometimes I go too hard on things. Sometimes I get stuck on things. I'm human too, but I also am, trying to learn and grow and have more fun and just do more fun things with the community. That's my big focus going into 2024. Less getting mad about this particular thing or that particular thing. So yeah, I appreciate it, brother. Nuck with a $40 super chat, very generous. Holy shit. Says, I turned 40 on Saturday. Josh, I stumbled into this nerd den in May of the dreaded 2020. LOL. You and the rest of the Nerd Vengers were a bright light in a dark time in my life, and I love y'all for it. Thanks for everything. Well, hey man, I appreciate it. I remember those times. What a weird time. And the streams definitely did a lot for me. And I think a lot of the bonds were made for the community back then. But we've, of course, grabbed a bunch of cool people along the way of the past couple of years as well. So I'm really happy. I'm really grateful for the community, for the platform. And I'm just going to try to continue to do my part and continue to just try to grow as a content creator. So I appreciate it, man. Thank you so much. And it's been one hell of a ride. And also, happy birthday, man. 40? I mean, I feel like I'm 40. I'm not quite there yet, but I feel it. Damien Diablo says, I got into Marvel because of your WandaVision coverage back in the day. Now it's my biggest fandom next to Star Wars. Merry Christmas, Josh. Hey, thank you so much. And look, I still love Marvel. I know I have, let's say, some grievances with Marvel as of late. And I think, honestly, how could you not with what's happening? But I still love Marvel. I'm still grateful for Marvel and for Star Wars. And, either way, we're going to go through this shit together. Like, the highs, the lows, the lulls, when it's on fire. What a interesting, weird year with a lot of blemishes. A few really bright spots like Loki and Guardians 3. And I think we will get on the other end of this. It's just that, like going through it is like, it's tough, man. You know what I mean? It's tough, but I appreciate it. Thank you, man. Big Cat, member for 20 months, says, let's keep this nerd train rolling. Much love, Josh. Hey, I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much. And can't wait to do more Warhammer streams with all of you guys. Dude, Warhammer. Let's go. Vandal, member for 6 months, says, good day from down under. Been weeks since I could catch a stream live. Chef life is crazy busy during Xmas. That is true. Glad I could join the banter before New Year. Oh, that's sick, man. Appreciate you. Keep on chefing it up. And yeah, I know how that can be, dude. Restaurant life around the holidays is wild. I did 12 years in the industry, so very familiar with how all of that works. But yeah, catch a little break, man. Get a little, like, smoke break, chill break in here and there. And we're going to keep doing our thing. And I think next year's going to bring some fun stuff. And so I appreciate this support, brother. I really do. Thank you. Chilling in the Basement says, what a novel idea. Getting writers who know and love the material to write for the IP. What a shame other IPs can't seem to figure that out. Nerd Vengers for life. Take my money. Well, yeah. And I actually think that something like a watershed moment is happening. And I think studios, executives, producers, they're starting to realize the value of having a hardcore fan at least involved in the process. And one of the spaces that has really pioneered this has been anime, because live action One Piece was I think a pretty big success for them. A little bit of disparity between like the Samba and Nielsen numbers, which is always the case. But either way, they're making another season. Netflix seems to be happy. Oda seems to be happy. And most importantly, Oda's involved, right? So you get Oda involved, and like that kind of just brings it in a little bit more. Neil Druckmann being directly involved in The Last of Us, which was a huge show. Like, you might not like the second game and Abby and the freaking golf club, but you got to admit, very successful show. Druckmann being involved, I think, helps that, right? Mario, you have Miyamoto involved in the Super Mario Brothers movie. So I think we could be heading towards a place where some of these people are starting to value bringing in that big creator and having that cosign, but also having that love of it, Bo DeMeo claims to have only hired people for X-Men 97 that were big fans of the 90s show, the original one. So it is unfortunately still a joke you can make, chillin', right? But my hope would be in the next couple of years that goes away a bit and they start to really lean in on using these creators and using these people, right? So, man, I'm so excited for the Warhammer shit. Let's go. David says, Josh, like a little kid when his friends come over, want to see my toys? Hey, dude, I'll go. I got more in the car. I'll bring more out tomorrow for the Nerd Avenger stream so you guys can see like my grav tank, my dreadnought. Dude, like, yeah, we got a lot to talk about tomorrow, so we'll break it all down tomorrow. But yeah, kind of, you're not wrong. Chillin says, you ever play the tabletop version of Blood Bowl? No, I have not. I'm interested in it. I've also seen some video games and whatnot for it, but no, I'm not really. Appreciate the question, though. Frex says, you have the power to make one of the upcoming 3 Star Wars movies a 10 out of 10. What do you choose? I say the Rey film because the future of Star Wars is very bright. I absolutely agree. If one Star Wars movie, if any movie for any franchise ever needed to be a 10 out of 10, it's the Rey movie. The Rey movie is either let's put mom and dad in the home, or, wow, I can't believe how good mom and dad are doing. Maybe we don't need life alert. That's what it's at stake. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. A good question. Jake Myers says, got here late, but man, I suffered through that whole holiday special with the Nerd Vengers and what, bro? And what, brother? You run out of space there or something? I mean, yo, I was there too. That shit was wild, man. Like, that was an experience. Like, that's what I mean. Like, I feel like my brain got remapped watching that shit, dude. Like, all of it. Like, the eyeshadow on Mark Hamill. Like, it's wild, bro. You talk about opening up your third eye. Watch the holiday special. Nick and Brick says, do you collect Lego? No, I never really got into Lego. I know some people that are really into it, and apparently, like, it's got a decent little secondary market with, like, collectors and stuff. But no, I never really got into it. Lord Baratheon says, what about Captain Marvel and Thor? I feel like Thor will not be involved on anything Earthbound for a while. You know? But Captain Marvel's on Earth. Right? So I think Captain Marvel, probably Team Iron Man. Thor, he wasn't even involved in the first one either. I don't know. I guess that's a good question. Like, what do you think? What do you think Thor would do, guys? I'm not really sure. Trev says, what if Miss Marvel is Peter of Street Civil War? Can you elaborate on that? Like, you mean gets shot by the Punisher? Or, like, what do you mean? Team Cap? Maybe. Maybe. Thor would have been Team Cap, in my opinion. He definitely didn't like Tony. Unmasking by Iron Man. Possibly. I could see that. I would just hope that they do something really interesting with the characters. I'm a little weary. Like, current MCU is like a little... Like, we're just not, like, driving these things forward with, like, character differences. And it's, like, really, really surface level right now, you know? Hunting Dude says, hey, almost a year. Let's go. I just want to see Spidey versus Fisk. That would be peak, especially after the fight in Spider-Man PS4. Nerd Vengers for life. Much love. Yeah, that would be cool. I mean, they've done some wild stuff with Wilson Fisk in the MCU. He can, like, take arrows out of himself and shit. So, I'm down, bro. I'm kind of down. I think that would be cool. Yeah, they are kind of playing it safe right now, and that is not a good... I'm going to go out on a limb and say that's not a good way to do it. Toxic says, I know everyone wondering, so I will say it. I would be Team Cap. Yeah, I'd probably be Team Cap too, man. You know? I'd probably be Team Cap too. But now we all know, and I know everybody was really curious, Toxic, for sure. The Exodus says, Bruce is Team Iron Man until he hulks out. For sure. Yep. I'd agree with that. Sounds like Kingpin setting up Sinister Six against Spider-Man, using a lot of Spidey villains, adapt Ultimate Sinister Six, and fighting the whole on the White House lawn. Yeah, I thought about that too. I mean, how could you not? It's like brilliant, right? Doing the Sinister Six presented as heroes, Spider-Man presented as a villain. That's kind of cool, man. Like, that would be kind of cool. I think the only problem with that, Trev, is like Sony still really wants to do Sinister Six. Like, Sony still really wants Sinister Six with no Spider-Man, with Kraven the animal rights activist, Morbius, like, you know what I'm saying? So I don't know, bro. Like, Sony probably screwed that up. Eli says, I've had the worst year of my life personally, but this community keeps me from pushing the off button on myself. I don't care how parasocial that sounds. Hey, man, I understand. And look, mental health is crazy because, like, on the outset, you could say, like, oh, man, like, that's really scary. Like, dude, like, emergency. But to me, like, you know, I kind of get it. Like, bro, like, life is so fucking crazy. And it just seems like the world just gets crazier and crazier. And it feels like, you know, you can't really get ahead. Like, I understand that. It almost feels like the world is set up to make you feel that way. And, you know, I always talk about this, but there was a time in my life where I was, like, so depressed, like, clinically depressed, like, could, like no appetite, couldn't function, lethargic all day, not really feeling much joy at all, right? Just, like, in a very, very dark place. And as weird as it sounds, the show Supernatural with the Winchester Bros, that was, like, my only escape from that depression. And for a while, the only thing that would literally on a day-to-day basis keep me going was binging Supernatural with my homie. Don't know why. Looking back at it, it's kind of weird. I'm obviously in a much better place now, and I feel much better. I feel much more powerful. I feel in control. But you don't always feel like, and even that, I don't always feel that way. Even today, I don't feel that way. There was, I think it was like 2 weeks ago or something like that. I had like a bad spat of insomnia, and then like my mental fortitude just completely fell apart. So it can happen to anybody, anytime. Mental health is absolutely real. Big deal for me. And so to hear that we are that thing, we're like the Winchester Bros for you right now. That's amazing. You know what I mean? Like, that's amazing. And very happy to somehow been able to provide you with that. And just keep going, man. All I can say is that I've been there. I got past it. I still have bats of depression and dealing with mental health. But I think one of the things that's very positive is like when you are in a very dark spot and you go from it into feeling much better, you gotta remember that. So the next time you are in that dark spot, you've got to kind of remind yourself, I've been here before and I got out of it. That's like a really important thing to remember. So you have to kind of like just think of it as building a little bit of mental fortitude with where you're at right now. But everybody processes these things differently. Sometimes, man, you just got to be fucking depressed and down for a while. I don't think you can stay there. But I do think that sometimes you just got to fucking be there. And you just got to be depressed and go through that trauma. And just, you know, I don't know what it is exactly. But, like, you got to kind of be there. So, much love, man. You know, happy you found the community. And the tower's always open to you. And you're going to be all right, brother. Leonard with a $10 holla. Really appreciate it, brother. Says, Josh, I found you during the pandy. You are still the only YouTuber I support financially. That's high praise. Continue to be you, brother. Happy holidays. Hey, man, I really appreciate it. Thank you, Leonard. And been a long time, bro. Been chilling. And yeah, I appreciate it, man. You know, look, sometimes I act in a way or I say things that will push certain people away or, you know, get people triggered. And I don't love doing that, and I'm not trying to push people away, but I know that I can do that. But it's cool to hear shit like this because having a bad week or having a bad moment or saying the wrong thing or making a bad decision does not define you, you know? And so to me, it's always really encouraging when I get these messages like this one, Leonard, because it makes me realize that probably more often than not, I said or did the right thing. And I've got some people that have been supporting me for a long time. We've got something really special going on with this community. And it's deeper than that surface level engagement in these properties. You know what I mean? So I really appreciate that because sometimes I get in a headspace where I'm like, damn it, why do I have to say this or that? Or why do I have to be this divisive and this? Because, you know, I don't like to push people away and I don't like to get people angry or whatever. But, you know, then I get some messages like this and I remind myself that, like, well, you've been putting good shit out for years and you've been trying to cultivate a community for years. That doesn't just go away when you say the wrong thing. I mean, maybe for some people it does. But not for, like, the real motherfuckers. You know what I mean? Not for, like, the people that have really been riding with me that know me beyond any clip, tweet, or whatever piece of bite-sized content that gets spread around. You know? So I appreciate it, man. Thank you so much. Mike says, I'm still hoping they change the villain, the main villain to Doom, but if they keep Kang, they should age him up and cast Denzel Washington for Secret Wars. No Revenge for Life. That would be wild. I mean, it's kind of hard to say. To me, and I know we're still waiting for the result of the Majors case, but for me personally, like, I found myself at a spot where, like, I'm pretty comfortable with Majors just sticking around. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, yeah, not this flawless human. definitely toxic elements to that personality. But I mean, I don't know. Like for me, like I don't hate Jonathan Majors. I think I get it. I think I understand it. And even like the shit, like some of the stuff, like if you actually hear what he was saying, I'm like, I mean, that's not as bad as what I thought when I read it in print, you know? I'm pretty comfortable with like Majors sticking around. And I got to say, dude, like, and maybe this is fucked up to say, but sometimes somebody with a chip on their shoulder, somebody with something to prove, somebody with a little bit of pain can put out some incredible work. And I think Majors was probably always going to bring it. But if he sticks around, I expect quite the performance. You know what I mean? Quite the performance. Of course, the nerd in me is like, fuck all that, Kang sucks! And I just want Doctor Doom, but we're going to get Doom. You know what I mean? We're going to get Doom. I can't believe Feige's playing hide the zucchini with Doom. But we will get Doom. So, we'll see. That's another crazy thing we've all had to go through together, you know? Okay, J Slide says, holy crap, Josh, 3 years Nerd Venging this January 1st? That is wild, bro. I can't believe it. The time is crazy. Appreciate you, big guy, and all y'all for putting up with me. Hey, it's all good, man. Y'all got me through some dark times. Hey, I really appreciate it. And the thing, I mean, I know you and I haven't always agreed. And I know we've been on opposite sides of arguments and all that. But like, I think that's one of the cool things about this community is like nobody's perfect here. Nobody's up on a pedestal. Like, you know, I've been wrong occasionally, right? And we have fun with it. And it's like, dude, look, I wrote down, I did some meditating this weekend and stuff, right? Because like, I haven't been super pleased with my attitude over the past couple of weeks. And, you know, I'm not even like super pleased with like the MCU video. Like, I feel how I feel. But maybe, you know, I don't know. It's debatable as to how much I have to put that out there that way. And I know it like pisses some people off, right? And so I've been in this headspace of like a little bit of self-reflection and kind of like conflicted about the whole thing. But while I was meditating, one of the things I kept coming back to, and one of the things I kept writing was, as long as we're having fun, we're on the right path. Okay? If it ever gets really toxic, like beyond having fun, if it were ever to slip into that realm of real aggression and just acting in a way that wasn't fun anymore, then we're way off track. But as long as we're having fun, I think we're on track. So, yeah, we're good. Like WandaVision. Yeah, no, real talk, Adam. Like, and that's the thing too, is like, dude, like I am learning and growing as a content creator as well. Because, bro, like I can get really toxic and I get really fixated. It's a double-edged sword because I think part of what makes my content attractive to people and resonates with them is like the passion. And I'm like, dude, I fucking love this shit. You know what I mean? I'm very passionate about it. The flip side of that is that same authenticity can become a barrier to entry when I'm not on the same page with those same people that came for the passion, right? So I'm learning and trying to figure this out and trying to like move forward. I think that the thing that's crazy is like I am very critical, and I mean, frankly, I am very fucking butthurt about Marvel. Like, this might be one of the biggest fumbles of all time, going from Endgame to where we're at now. And you know, look, we don't know for sure what's going to happen with Echo, but I mean, I have heard horrible things about Echo. And I've heard horrible things about Agatha. So it's going to be difficult for me to like go through that as a fan and not hurt some feelings if some people have already decided it's the best fucking thing ever. Surface level touristy type fans, which is fine. I want all the fans. But like, you know, that's not going to be the way I feel about this shit, and my relationship with it is just different, you know. So hey, we just keep going. You know what? We'll figure it out together. And I'm always right. And I appreciate you saying that, Jay Sly. Toski says, this group is definitely that for me, too. Well, I really appreciate that, man. Thank you so much. Much love, man. Very generous 10 spot. Chillin says, I feel you, Eli. Sometimes all you can do is twist one, if you're into that, and submerge yourself into some nerdy-ish. One step at a time, brother. Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. Cool. Good Q&A. Hey, should we just chat it up for a little bit, like 5-10 minutes just in the chat, and then we'll call it a day? Should we hang out in the chat for a bit and then call it a day? Do. Oh, shit. I got some pages back. I got some lettered pages back. Okay, so those are over the top of the black and white there. Interesting. Okay. All right, I'm going to have to read this in a little bit here, but that is not... Ooh, I like that. Ooh, I like that. Ooh, I like that. Wait, what? Okay, we might actually... I mean, I don't know for sure, but we might actually make this... we might actually make this all by Christmas. We'll see. That'd be great. Is Unity 42 pages on purpose? No. Not on purpose. I would say, you know, probably numerology, angel numbers, you know, the actual mathematical fabric of quantum physics and reality and, you know, emerald tablets and the teachings of Thoth and, you know, Sumerians and Anunnaki and, you know, like you know, like there's, you know, numbers and reality and, you know, shit. Vandal says, keen for more 40K streams. Still here for Marvel, Star Wars. Yeah, totally. Of course. Josh has been down the YouTube rabbit hole. I am the YouTube rabbit hole, brother. But no, yeah. Of course, I've been down. I said what I said. Oh, yeah, totally. Of course. It's as long as the story needs to tell. Yeah, that's the truth. And there were even a few adjustments. I mean... You know, we just added one more page to it, too, because, like, as I was editing it, I was like, we kind of go from this scene to that scene, and it's like, yeah, the transition's not good there. You know, Alan Moore, one of the greatest comic book writers of all time and a true wizard, you know, he said storytelling and telling a story is like magic, and that the transitions in a spell are where the spell is at its weakest. So therefore, the transitions in your story are sort of the place where you could lose the magic. So they're very important. So as I was editing it, I was like, okay, we need a little bit more here, you know? Yeah, man. Josh, did you watch Leave the World Behind? Yeah, I loved it, dude. Fucking loved it, you know? But everybody, or a lot of people hated that I loved it. You know, because the Obamas produced it, therefore it's woke and bad. And also, I mean, one of the characters does say, like, white people suck, which I guess is just woke and bad. So it's a tough one, Kendall. You know, I try to, like, fit my opinions, you know, into this sort of easy to digest, you know, way for everybody. So it's, like, hard. You know, I really liked the movie. But the more I thought about it and when I saw everybody's reaction, I was like, yeah, no, it's probably just woke and bad. But before I, you know, was brainwashed into thinking that, yeah, I liked the movie a lot, man. I thought it was cool. Like, it's really masterfully put together. Very meticulous. Very meticulous. I like how the painting was changing. Yeah, it was really cool. Yeah. No, it's a really good movie. Really great performances too. And it's tense, you know. I really liked it. What's that guy done? I mean, has he done other stuff? I haven't really looked into it, but I remember we were watching the movie and I was like, I want to check this dude's body of work out. Like, this is really well done, you know? But, yeah. Yeah. So I'll see you guys tomorrow at 11 for a Nerd Venger stream. We'll talk about some of the things we want to do going into next year. You know, a couple of ideas that are on my head are like book club, where we're doing either, you know, a manga or a comic for a book club where we kind of, you know, read a certain amount and then get together and talk about it and break it down. Breaking down certain movies or certain, like, you know, hidden, more rare versions of movies or things like that would be really interesting. So come with some ideas tomorrow, man. It would be great to, you know, come up with some cool ideas that the community can engage. Because, like, you know, I love what we do and I love the streams and I like the videos, but a lot of that's like surface level, especially the videos. Like, great videos are kind of, you know, surface level. But I think some of the things we could do together as a community are like a little bit deeper than that. And like watching the holiday special was great. And like, I'd love to maybe watch that documentary about the holiday special together, because that would be like a cool little like kind of follow up to that. And then like as a way, for instance, like, you know, you're at your next Comic-Con, you're hanging out with your buddies, and the holiday special comes up, and then you could basically be like, "Oh yeah, dude, I'm a part of this community online. We watched it together. We watched this documentary together. Like, bro, I'll tell you all about the holiday special. This shit's crazy," right? That's the kind of value I want to give back to you guys, is for you to have more than just, oh, hey, I know about this from a YouTube video, right? Like let's have some experiences. Let's go through some shit together. Let's be fucking nerds, and let's have a good 2024. You know what I mean? So that's what we're going to be doing. I appreciate you all. Thank you for being here. Thank you for the love. Thank you for the positivity, the subscribes, the member chats, the super chats. All of it. Appreciate you. As I always say, I hope you are having an awesome and a nerdy day, and I'll see you in the next video. Is everybody gone? Did everybody leave? Ah, shit, another happy landing. And you know, and yes, I do mean you know that I had a good ass time on this stream because we got to talk about some Warhammer, baby. Yeah, and I got to show you guys my toys. Let's get it. Woo. Don't worry. You guys will see. You'll see, man. You'll see. You'll be like, damn, you know, like a couple years from now, all of a sudden, bam, the Warhammer shit pops off and everybody's like, whoa, this is like the new Game of Thrones. This is better than Star Wars. Oh my God, it's better than Marvel. You'll see and you will know. And you'll be like, you know what, Josh? I'm sorry. I didn't understand. I didn't see it. I didn't see the vision. I couldn't see. But now I do. Yeah. Yeah, man. I'll see you guys tomorrow at 11. Videos throughout the week. Last stream of the week will technically be the Rebel Moon watch party, but before that will be live Wednesday. Should be a big old stream. We're going to give away some presents. We're going to do some tier lists. I'm going to eat some Christmas cookies. Hell yeah. I'll see y'all real soon. Make sure you open up your third eye and you wash out that stinky gluteus maximus buttholeus.